Hello, a very good day to you. Welcome to Kenya's most comprehensive political analysis show here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Definitely, I'm talking about the Candid Talk. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Of course, as usual, I'm joined by Professor Herman Manyora. How are you, sir?
Good. Good.
We are still looking at how things are taking place in this country. And of course, a lot is taking place in the political world, in the political field, and the heat is rising day in, day out. We saw what took place in the Orange Democratic Movement Party. I wonder whether it's still democratic, because a number of people are now questioning the meaning of the word D there, the letter D. But then here we are. These members of parliament were expelled. They went to court, and of course the expulsion order was a little bit suspended for now. But then these same members of parliament vowed and said that they are still within the Orange Democratic Party to stay. And then yesterday, the other day, they were there in the State House back again to pay the president a courtesy call and pledged their allegiance, full allegiance to the president, and said they are working with the president and they're not turning back. No retreat, no surrender. That's the kind of message that they are giving to their party leader, so to say. I wonder what you make of these kind of sentiments and all these things that are taking place here. These people being expelled for the very reason, and then they go back there and show the world that this is it, and we've decided we're not going back to it.
This is Kenya. This is your country.
Okay.
You want it that way, so I've talked until I can't talk anymore. Because it's your country. And you must admit that your country is a poor, dirty, third world country. And all the indicators you need to confirm are there. You walk in Nairobi, heaps of garbage. You go to our so-called slums, you wonder how human beings can live there. Where there's a problem not just of even water, but even simple basic sanitation. That is your country. And for Nairobi, over 80% of the population lives there. If you are happy with that country, it's your problem. I have tried, I'm almost giving up, unless I became president. Because countries that are successful cannot engage in such a stupidity. No, they cannot. You are elected on a party ticket. You leave that party, go to bed with another party, and you still want to remain in parliament. Only a failed state, a banana republic, allows that. So if we are content with what we are, to live in a country, and I've said this repeatedly, to live in a country where people die from hunger. Imagine being hungry until you die. To live in a country where international TV and media carry images of Kenyans from Turkana, where Baringo eating wild roots, wild fruits, and even dogs. If you are happy with that country, it's fine. If you go to Kibera and Mukuru, Kwanjenga, Kaongware, if those are your countrymen and you are happy that they are like that, fine. There's no problem. Then you can be Tomo Agenda, you can be Jalango, you can do, and you can be the courts. If that's the country, when we are voting in this country, in a general election, we use schools as polling stations. If you look at the state of those schools, because now we have a chance to see, if you are happy with those schools in the 21st century, fine, do these stupid things you are doing. It's okay. If you know that millions of Kenyans don't have jobs, and it's okay with you, even though it is dangerous for the country, fine. If you know millions of Kenyans go to bed without a meal, and that almost 50% of us in this country live below $1 a day, which is poverty line. If you are happy with all those things, if you are happy with the houses in which Kenyans live and they are calling houses, let's continue with them, because we are the leaders. If you are the judiciary, you are a leader in this country. If you are an MP, you are a leader in this country. So if you are happy with this picture of Kenya where it is, do the things you are doing. Defect from, leave ODM, say all the stupid things you want to say about ODM, about Jubilee, about UDA, and continue being shamelessly a member of parliament. And when your party expels you, you rush to the registrar of political parties. And he says, continue being an MP. Fine. The tribunal, fine, you go to the courts suspend. I'm saying all this is okay, but we must agree on two things. One, that this is a poor, dirty third world country. And two, we want to remain like that. Then all the institutions in this country can move in a manner to suggest we are okay. Yeah, the way we are. Yeah, that we are okay. Because unless you become serious, you cannot develop as a country. I don't get what you're saying.
I get you.
We must be serious with the things we do. We must be
serious with the things we do.
Yeah. So if somebody is, look, hardly a day, hardly a week after being expelled, just a couple of days, they are in State House. Hardly a day after the court gives them reprieve, they are in State House. The judges, the magistrates we have in our courts are Kenyans and they live in this country. I have repeated, we don't just make you an officer of the court, like a judge. We do so fully aware you are one of us. And you know this country. A judicial decision is not a scientific decision. No. Who has told you? Judges give an opinion. There is no mathematical formula a court uses to arrive at a decision. There's no weighing scale. The one you see outside the court is just to show fairness, impartiality, and the blind. Justice, when you are passing judgment, you are not. But the truth is, there is no scientific formula for arriving at a decision in a court. So the factors you consider to arrive at a decision, some of them are what we all know. We know these guys are messing our democracy. Yet we need strong political parties to grow our democracy. When our democracy is stable, all of us will be happy. The country will move economically, human rights will be respected, our grandchildren will live in a good country, whether you are a judge or a magistrate or a teacher like me or a politician. We are all contributing towards the future in which our children and our children will live. So as you play your role as if you don't know what's going on in this country, it will come to haunt you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Prof.
I've taken long because I'm really, I feel really pained.
I get you.
A country that has the potential to move forward is allowing small, useless things to drag it, to hold us back. Even what are we telling our children? You go to bed with another party? Even your own children, they may not tell you, but they can't believe what they are seeing. A country without values is not a country. We must have values. We must have something we are telling our children. That a grown-up person must have something they stand for, they believe in. You get it?
I get you. Well and good. Here we are. We've had and seen the opposition decry a lot of things, and party interference has been at the center of this this conversation here. We talked about the Jubilee Party and how all those things, we saw the run-ins there between the different factions that were there. But then we saw also the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition led by the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga come on board and agree to have a conversation with the government. The dialogue is there. And I remember when we had this conversation with you, you said that one of the things that must be tabled on this dialogue, one of the things that must be discussed is how to actually, the government can stop interfering with the political parties and how to deal with such kind of behaviors that we're witnessing right now. Let's assume this agenda is supposed to be there. The bipartisan talks are supposed to be going on. The talks are supposed to be going on between the government and the opposition side. Don't you then think that some of these things that we are witnessing here are actually going to drive us back to the streets?
We don't want to go back to the streets. I don't want to imagine that is possible. That's really bad. But we must just be serious. Like I'm saying, let's just be serious.
How does the president weigh in?
Pardon?
How does the president now balance between protecting these people, the rebels who are actually his friends?
No point of protecting anybody. Let's just do the right thing. It is in the interest of all of us, including the president, that we do the right thing. Because we live in this country and in this world, But we are supposed to leave it to our children and our grandchildren and their children. Yeah. So whenever you are acting from a position of influence, just look at the future. Don't look at today. Don't look at 2027. You'll be president for 10 years, you'll go away. People are already forgetting Uhuru. Hata Uhuru akipiga around hapa town. Hakuna mtu. It's just another human being. Ama ni uongo?
Hivyo.
Obama is just another person in America. You'll be president, but you'll go. But the country remains, and the future where your grandchildren remain. So, this political party thing, all I'm saying, everybody who has the power to do something, let them do something. For example, the judiciary must keep off politics. The judiciary must keep off politics. Must keep off politicians. I think my second or third video, when I started this thing in 2017, I told the judiciary, the courts cannot decide for Kenyans who is the president or who is not. The voter will have to decide who the president of Kenya is going to be. But as it were today, the courts are deciding who is the president, which is wrong. So I told the judiciary, keep off politics, keep off politicians with their bad manners. But in order for that to happen, so that every election doesn't end up in the Supreme Court. I even wrote about it in the print media last year. And sure enough, for the law, every time we shall have an election, it will end up in the Supreme Court. Which means the Supreme Court is being asked, tell us who is going to be the president of Kenya. The voter has spoken. But the court is being asked to tell us who is going to be the president of Kenya. In order for that to end, I gave the judiciary a suggestion. When you are dealing with a petition, identify the culprits. Don't hide under the provisions, oh, there's no law here. No. I had Maraga running around saying, oh, the people who messed the election, he can't touch them. I don't believe that. I've also read enough to know that the courts have sufficient power to sanction those who mess elections. Mete out such a severe punishment that nobody will ever think of messing an election. Once the courts have done that nobody will ever mess an election because of the sanctions from the courts, then the courts will have washed their hands away from politics. Nobody will ever invite them. Same with this political party thing. Let the courts make a firm precedent-setting decision. Because courts also make law. You know that, eh?
Yes, I do.
Let them make firm decision on this issue of party hopping. And therefore, after they have done that, nobody will ever take their case to court. Not one. When your party expels you, you go away. Because a party is an association. The courts will always, if the courts made it their business to interfere with internal wrangles of all associations, cooperative societies, they are called SACCOs, trade unions, political parties, etc. All these clubs, you know, they are clubs who are registered under the association, whatever law. Then the courts will never do anything but engage in those business. That's why the courts are hesitant, should be hesitant, to enter matters of political party discipline. And if they must, it must only be once. And the decision they make will keep politicians away from the courts. Period. And I'm inviting the Chief Justice. This is not asking for too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prof, make me understand this. You've definitely said that we do not want to go back to the streets. Last time, when I remember properly, the opposition said that the government side did not have any sort of goodwill, and they even went ahead to include, remember the one who was included, the member, the eldest member of parliament, and then Kanini, who was included in that bipartisan talk committee. And of course, they had to go to the streets because they are saying this person has to be removed. His inclusion here means that you do not have that sort of goodwill. And that one alone was enough for these people to go back to the streets. Right now, if at all, I wonder actually how this leaves now Raila Amolo Odinga with the Orange Democratic Movement Party. The president is there, and for him, he sees there is as if the president is interfering with this party. This is supposed to be an agenda that should be discussed here on the talks. Do you then think that perhaps this could inform this decision? And that is why I was asking you, are we actually sniffing the streets?
No, let's not talk about the streets. Let's not go back to the streets. That's why I said, and the viewer and you must be reminded what I said. I said, we are where we are. There's no hope in the country. People are scoring the president badly because the president has failed to manage the politics. You manage the politics, you have room to do the economics, the economy. You get it?
Yes.
Now that he has an opportunity at the Bomas to manage the politics, why would he squander that opportunity? That's why I'm not seeing any opportunity, any way of us going back to the streets. The president must by now be aware. We are where we are because somehow he didn't manage the politics well. But an opportunity has been brought his way. People are not in the streets. People are talking. Let people continue talking. And let something come out of these talks. I don't quite believe so. But he can use the Bomas opportunity to manage the politics. So I don't see again the idea of people going to the streets.
Is he doing
if he's not doing that, that is his problem.
Because that's why I'm asking, going by the recent actions of those rebel members of parliament whom we've seen a number of times at State House, and of course that taking place, is the president driving us more to the streets or to Bomas?
No, the president is a politician and he's playing politics, but I only hope and I urge him, please, even if you are a politician and you are playing politics, let's stop being too clever.
What options does Raila have?
Well, Raila always has options. He's a politician.
Okay.
So is the president. They are politicians. They have options. Yeah. When people went to the streets, the option Ruto took was he could stop the demonstrations. Of course, it was wrong, but he tried. It didn't work though. Raila could have his options. He may think going back to the streets will work. It may not. It may work. It may not work. But the option Kenyans want is the option of peace. Meaning, let's keep talking. Yeah.
Let's keep talking.
Let's keep talking.
Even if the party is being interfered with and all that?
No, but you see again, sorry. Again, you cannot deal with big issues when you allow small issues to cloud what you are doing. If I were the president, and I'll just sit down with Raila. And even the judiciary, whoever it is, and these guys are just somehow within the provisions of the law, they go back to the electorate. That will be a big thing. There's a number of things the president must do. One of them is to let these people off. Let them go. Let them face the electorate. Let Ojenda stand in Kisumu and see if he will be elected. Let Jalango stand in Langata. Let them, Elisha and the rest, let them stand on their own parties or independent. Let's see if they come back. That can be arranged. If there's agreement between Raila and Ruto and the other institutions, you just need to let the law work and they'll come back.
Okay.
The second thing the president will need to do is to basically show commitment to the talks. That's the politics now. And then he will begin doing the economy. In between there, he will have to send the cabinet away and bring serious men and women. Yeah.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he allowed me to wind up this conversation at this particular moment. But remember, the conversation continues. You can weigh in on this conversation here by commenting down there. Tell us what you think about the movement of the latest rebels from the Orange Democratic Movement Party. And if at all you think that perhaps the president is doing the right thing by hosting them therein and creating what the opposition can actually term as bad will. Well, till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.